Hi, this is Dr. David Pierce, your dental coach, and today I want to talk to you about a concept called amygdala hijacking. This phrase was first used by Daniel Goleman back in 1995 when he released his book called Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. And author Goleman defined and described amygdala hijacking as a very intense emotional reaction to a stimulus which is out of proportion to the stimulus. Essentially, it's like when you and I lose it. So what is it about this amygdala thing? Well, the amygdala is part of the reptilian brain, and we all have that. And we might say, like, why do we even need that? Well, let me describe a scenario for you where if you had to think your way through a scenario as opposed to having this primitive part of our brain which is designed to keep us alive, how the outcome may not be so good. Say you're getting ready to cross the street, you're starting to step out and you check to your right, everything looks good, and then you check to your left and there's a car bearing down on you. If we had to use the thinking part of our brain, it might look something like, I see a large object that now I have identified as a car. It is moving towards me at approximately 88 feet per second, and time of impact will be 0.77 seconds. Therefore, I need to escape danger by pushing off on my right foot to move my body back away from the road, and on and on and on, right? That would be tragedy. You'd be roadkill. All what happens is you leap out of the way. Once you realize that you just came close to a near-death situation and now it's gone, you'll notice that probably your palms are sweating, your heart is racing, all kinds of things are happening inside your body. And you can thank your amygdala and basal ganglion for that release of adrenaline and other chemicals that just saved your life. So it's great to have that. But let's consider another scenario. In your office, we'll call her Kathy. She's one of your awesome team members. However, she has a habit in your team meetings of speaking over people, cutting them off, interrupting. And what happens as a result of that is that some of your more timid team members are less likely to speak. They're less likely to share because they don't like that behavior from Kathy. So you're the leader, and let's just say that you're not a big fan of confrontation, so you know you need to speak to Kathy. Even before, I'll suggest that even before you're going to speak with Kathy, as you think about it, a couple things happen. But one, as you notice yourself, you may notice your palms are starting to get sweaty. You may notice you're like feeling a sort of sensation in your gut, tightness in your gut. All those things are the amygdala, and they're trying to warn you of a potential danger. So if you think back to, again, this amygdala and the outcome that we're talking about, so like, why is it even there? How does it help out? Well, run back however many tens of thousands of years to the caveman and think about their life. The caveman may very well hear a rustling in the bushes, which of course means there's a meal. The question is a animal going to pop out that the caveman can eat as his meal, or is a saber-toothed tiger going to pop out which will eat the caveman for a meal? One of the interesting things about how we humans are wired, as a direct result of that, we are wired to look much more closely for negativity and danger than we are to look for opportunity and pleasant stimuli. And again, why would that be? Because while that rustling in the bushes could well be a nice meal for the caveman, he had to be much more concerned that it could be an imminent threat to the life of his family and to himself. And so we look for those negative stimuli. So the caveman had the saber-toothed tiger, and we maybe have the grizzly bear sow and her cubs, which if you got in between them, it might not be a good day. But by and large, you and I are not facing life-threatening situations very often. I can remember early on in my career, I hired a consultant, and for among other things, I was frustrated because my team wouldn't listen to what I wanted them to do. We would talk about things and they wouldn't get done. Sound familiar? That was very early in my journey, and I hadn't figured out leadership and other things, but I was assigned to a consultant named Robert. And I talked to him about that, and Robert said, so we identified one particular team member at one point in time who wasn't following through each day with her assigned tasks. And so Robert said to me, we talked every Friday, next week, David, make sure you speak with Lynn about that issue, and we will talk next Friday and review your conversation. Perfect. Easy enough, right? So that was on Friday. So the weekend, I thought about that way too much, about what that conversation would be like, what I would say, then what Lynn would say, then what I would say, what Lynn would say, and how it might not turn out too well. And I got myself so worked up that by the time Monday came, I was in no position to talk to Lynn. And so Monday came and went. And throughout the week, I came up with a million different reasons why I could procrastinate. Fortunately, I had respect for Robert, and I didn't want to let him down. So Friday morning, I got up my courage and I spoke with Lynn. And I can assure you it was not a very good conversation and not productive. However, I spoke with her. At noon, when I spoke with Robert, his first words were, after saying hello, was, "Did you speak with Lynn?" I said I did, and I always remember this. And he said to me, "And you didn't die, did you? And you didn't die." And I laugh about that now, and I probably laughed about that then, but that's what it felt like. But you know what? It wasn't that. It was discomfort. So think about that. When you get that feeling, just know that's the part of your brain that you can be very, very glad is there, because it is going to save you from that racing car or other things in your life that truly are imminent dangers to your life. But the vast majority of time, it's going to be discomfort. Push your way through discomfort, you'll become a better version of yourself, and you'll be glad you did. So for more thought-provoking ideas and tools that you can use for your practice, please check out our website, ultimatesuccess.dentist or 4m40.com. This is Dr. David Pierce, your dental coach, always helping improve the lives of the dental community that I'm just so proud to serve.